Current charger right there. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Left Side Strong Side. I'm your host, Chance Ellison. Joining me, Jacob London and Jeffrey Kahn. Welcome to something. We haven't done anything like this quite before. Usually, last of the season, we knock everything out once. We're doing a little different this year. This isn't our full Week 18 recap. This is more of a debriefing for teams who are already done for the year. Like, we're going to take a look at teams who have been eliminated, take a look at some moves that have been made already, because there are quite a few. Some good, some what the fuck. And we're just going to see, how do these teams do and where do they go from here? Again, all the important games, I'm assuming we're going to talk about on our show tomorrow. Mm-hmm. This is just all the useless games that we're getting out of the way.
Well, not even really going to talk much about the games. We just want to talk about the teams.
The teams, yeah, but their games will factor into it. I think some of them, their games will factor into it.
The teams that already know their draft order.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So talking about teams that their season's done, they're completely over and just they're bad. Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
We're not over yet.
I'm kidding. That'll be tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
You are a week early, but yes, we're not done yet.
Chance has no faith anymore.
Well, again, we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah,
we'll save that, buddy. You're gonna come in hand tomorrow.
Oh my god.
In all seriousness, so the way we're just going to do this, we're just going to go through literally all 18 teams and go through it in draft order and say what do we think their future is, what do we think they have to do, and go from there. So, starting off, you are now officially on the clock. Number one overall pick.
We didn't think this was the team to be picking first.
Only took 18 weeks of memes, but the number one pick is yours.
Yep.
I don't think if you asked at the beginning of the season who was going to be the first overall pick, I don't think anyone was going to pick
no one.
Nope. None of us got that one right.
Nope.
You guys had the Patriots, I had the Giants. You
both had chances to be their own pick, and they screwed themselves. They screwed themselves.
We were all right.
Yep. So look, this one for me. It comes down to the fact that they have yet to make a move. So I think the most fascinating thing about Black Monday that happened today was the amount of teams that came out and announced we're not firing our coach.
Yeah, the shocking thing
because we know you're talking about it.
It wasn't who was fired. It's who still has a job.
Yeah,
that's what's weird.
It was more so. Greenberg said it on Get Up this morning. Is I've never seen so many owners put out statements going, hey, the guys we still have are under contract are staying under contract. We're not getting rid of them.
Yeah.
Because it's weird. It's weird that owners have felt the need to do that. So all three of the teams, and we'll get to that. We'll get to them when we get to those teams. But congratulations on joining the you're on the hottest seat in football. I personally right now firmly still believe I think they had to get rid of Brian Callahan.
Well, now it's all contingent on what he does.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be depending on what they do with this pick. Is it Shedeur Sanders? Is it Cam Ward? Do they trade it away in an effort to get Sam Darnold?
Is the thing. I straight up do not believe. This doesn't feel like a Shedeur home. The Titans do not feel like where Shedeur Sanders is going. They do not feel like a team that when we all talk about, could Dion throw his weight around and get someone off a team and make sure his son doesn't go to a bad team. This feels like the type of team where he throws his weight around and be like, he is not going here.
Who's the best white quarterback? Because that's where this person is going.
I think this is Cam Ward. I think they take Cam Ward.
Yeah, like if they don't get Sam Darnold, I think they've tried making these late round QBs work, and it just has not panned out. So I think it's time to take a swing on a first rounder, especially since you have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's a toss up. I don't. Shedeur Sanders doesn't feel like a Titan to me. But he doesn't feel like a Titan to me. But I don't know if I like him over Cam Ward.
But that's okay. That's the
dilemma.
My other big thing for this team specifically, I think they do that. I personally, for the Titans would be Cam Ward, fire Callahan, and go get Liam Cohen. I think that's I think that works.
Well, you're gonna need to fire Callahan first.
No, I know that. I think
going to at this point.
I think Callahan needs to be fired by the end of this week. I do. I think that is. I think Callahan has shown this season he is not ready to be an NFL head coach. I understand. Like my grading for them, I gave them a D, and it was mostly just because they made it clear at the start of the season they were tanking. And when they fired Vrabel, they made it very clear we're tanking, guys. Like we're fully going into a rebuild right now. They did that, but you had the biggest question. You had two questions this season: have we got the right head coach, and do we have the right quarterback? And I think the answer to both those questions is no.
Yeah.
Well, quarterback, absolutely not. I mean, for my grade, the Titans to me are the football team of like I have predictions were low, but holy fuck me, that's the Titans this year.
Yeah,
I went D- for basically the same reason, because you said they would be tanking, but we didn't expect them to be this bad.
Yeah, I would also go D-. Yeah,
all right,
they're bad.
Yeah, all right. Well, that is the Titans. Next season, look, they're in for. I don't expect them to be good next year.
Probably
either.
Not.
Like they're going to be a bad team again next year. Next up, Chance, it's your favorite. Good old Cleveland Browns.
Our favorite.
This is a tricky one because they're definitely taking a quarterback, especially because they're entering further reminder, the $230 million anchor around their neck.
They might take a late round. Use a late round.
Oh, well,
maybe.
late round, sure.
Yeah,
they're not taking a QB with 2.
Yes.
Like I could see them trading back in the first round.
So could I. So straight up, talking about the season, I gave them an F.
Same.
My biggest reason is going from the miracle playoff run last year with Joe fucking Flacco to this. With Watson contract, easily the worst contract in football with zero signs of improving.
Yep.
And
he still got hurt. Yeah.
And he still got hurt. And look,
and he might not be back next year.
Which is actually, if
blessing
he's
in
not,
disguise.
it's actually a blessing for the Browns because it gives them cap relief. So, the other thing with this team, I wouldn't be shocked if they traded this pick, and I think that would be the smart thing for them to do. Trade this pick, especially to a Giants, Jacksonville, Raiders, someone lower who could go up and get a quarterback because they're not going. Because then you can
take a quarterback.
Oh no, sorry, Jacksonville probably no. Sorry, Jacksonville wouldn't be. But unless they were terrified someone was going to get Travis Hunter, that's why.
The thing. Like unless you really, really, really want Travis Hunter,
yeah,
you don't take this. You don't
trade up.
But I would be going with a team that I thought was going to be a top 5 pick next year, and because there's going to be a certain Manning prize next year, so that is something that some of these teams might consider as, hey, let's just be bad this year because we have Manning next year. And I think
Manning in Cleveland. Oh, God.
But it sounds weird, but I could see it happening.
Yeah.
They threw a fit over San Diego. I don't want to see what's going to happen.
Cleveland.
He goes to Cleveland.
Yeah. So we had the other big news. My boy,
Your former boy.
My former boy, who we definitely kicked out and gladly has officially been
Ken
fired.
Dorsey.
And Dorsey is
Ken
gone.
Dorsey has officially been fired from the Browns.
I mean, like with that QB room, I don't know what you wanted him to do.
I don't know either. And with
But,
that,
yeah.
like again, I don't know.
Honestly, Ken Dorsey might have gotten off easy.
Yeah. Again, but I don't like Ken Dorsey as an OC.
Oh no, you don't.
I don't
That's the
think
reason you got fired in Buffalo. Yeah.
But get ready. The reunion's
Josh
coming
Allen.
because you're gonna lose Joe Brady.
Please God no.
I'm gonna lose Joe Brady. I'm
Get Dorsey back. No.
I'm really not. Like, I'm hoping he pulls a Ben Johnson and is like, I'm not going to any of these godforsaken teams.
Unless we're the Super Bowl, and then in which case his ass is gone.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's.
I'd also give the Browns. I'd probably give them an F too.
Yeah, look. They're keeping the coach, obviously, but oh boy, he's on thin ice. Stefanski's on massive thin
Whether
ice.
it's his fault or not, yeah.
And that's the problem. And I always feel for Stefanski because it's clearly not his fault. They clearly hamstrung him with a horrible contract, and yeah.
Honestly, he's a coach you could trade for a good amount.
You probably could actually.
Could.
Yeah.
Some teams are-
All right. Next up, the single funniest one from today.
The Giants. And this, okay. The Giants are already off to a really bad start. Like they got. I'm giving them a D- for this thing. I thought they're really bad. They're already starting at a D- for next season because there's the holy trinity of how the fuck do you still have a job. One of those sides of the triangle is Joe Shane. How the fuck is he still here?
Just for giving away Saquon Barkley.
Just
for that.
You gave him a D-. I gave him an F. This is straight up an F.
It's close to an F.
It's an F. The Saquon thing alone is an F.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair. But, like, it's not just Saquon. Like, Saquon, Xavier McKinney, Leonard Williams, all these guys you got rid of.
Yeah.
Two of those guys are going to be all pros this year. Leonard Williams had double-digit sacks this year. These guys are balling out for other teams, and you decide you didn't want them in your building. That's a horrible look as a GM. I don't know why he's not. I don't know why he's still here.
And not only that, you committed the original. It all goes back to the original sin, Daniel Jones. You paid Daniel Jones
too much. Paid him too much.
Look, and here's my big problem with them keeping both of them, because I would have been fine with, like, I understand why
keeping.
So by all reports was they only wanted to keep one. They weren't going to keep both, but then they always kind of realized that you then.
What if the GM does like the coach or vice versa?
Exactly, and that's the hard part. So. Yeah. Like I understand why it's like, okay, well, we don't want to get rid of Daboll, so we got to keep both, because you can't hire a new GM but basically say, hey, this coach is your coach, like screw you. Exactly. So I understood that. The problem you've got is, congratulations, you're now the Bears. Like, you're going to hire, you're going to draft a quarterback with a lame duck coach and GM. Mm-hmm. I fully believe this is where Shedeur ends up. I fully believe this is where Shedeur goes.
Okay, well, there's a few scenarios. Either the Giants get whoever Tennessee doesn't take.
Yeah.
Or what the Giants really don't want, somebody trades with Cleveland at 2 and jumps them.
And gets the quarterback.
That's the move. If I'm Cleveland, is call the Giants and say, we're making trade with X.
What's your offer?
What's your offer to make sure that they don't get it? And then when that happens in your Cleveland, call the other team and be like, do you want to come back up to third? Like,
Cleveland being busy on draft day? Where have I seen that before?
Trading first
trading a top.
And then I'm going to get them all back.
But yeah.
Same day.
I know they've said that they're coming back and everything. If Shedeur is available, there's a part of me that thinks Dad might come too. There's just that gut. There's a part of me that feels he may be the required. It may be a slight requirement of whoever hires Shador.
Might be. I mean, again, we still don't know what he's doing in Colorado right now.
Nah, we really don't.
But yeah, again, Giants. Again, I expect you to be bad. But like the way you failed at being bad, like you had it, all in your grasp.
And then Drew Lock didn't get the memo.
Drew Lock to just absolutely obliterate your tank.
Yep.
Gave you the middle finger on his way out.
Essentially.
They did nail the Malik Neighbors pick for what it's worth.
That's the one. That's the one
positive.
If you draft the quarterback, he does have like a true number one.
Exactly.
Well, and you still got like two really good defenders. Well, arguably three really good defenders in Brian.
Yeah,
Burns
there's some pieces. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
There are some pieces here.
Yeah, their defense
There's
is
some
still...
really good pieces. You just have to hit on the quarterback. It is slightly concerning. You got it. Like as great as Neighbors is, he's a diva. Oh, he's a diva. And
we saw a little bit of that, yeah.
No, like that's what. Like so, if you don't hit on this quarterback,
hey, look, the dude dealt with Daniel Jones.
That's my point.
Tim Boyle and Drew Lock in the season. That would break anybody.
No, and that's my point. If you don't hit on the quarterback, you are then going to have a Malik Neighbors problem. As in, like he is going
like
to
a Garrett Wilson situation.
Exactly. Yeah. He is going to start saying, "I want out of here because you've missed the quarterback." So that's you really got to hit on this quarterback because it's potentially you're losing two players if you don't.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Next up, the New England Patriots.
Again, a team that had it. They had it in their grasp, but then
good job, Bills, for losing.
Joe Milton standing up for the black coach in Boston, who's about to lose his job.
This is his job anyway.
Look. We'll talk more about this game tomorrow, but Chance, I know you don't like him at quarterback, but Mr. Trubisky, you're a savior. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sucking just enough.
I don't like him, but the one time I needed him to win. Not the one time I needed him to win, the one time Boston needed him to win. He does this.
Mr. Trubisky, pulling through for my team. Thank you. You're absolute. Just a trooper at heart.
Yeah, the Bills lost the battle. It might have won the war. Because of this, the Patriots are probably not gonna get Travis Hunter. But here's the problem: I think that they are in firm striking distance of a one T-Mac out of Arizona.
I look, that's a possibility. I think they've got to go O-line. I really think
New England's history of drafting wide receivers is not great either.
That's not. But Belichick is not in charge anymore.
That's
N'Keal Harry.
So okay, we also have this is our first vacancy that we're talking about now. Obviously, Jerome Mayo was fired.
One and done.
Could not believe it. That.
So I think. And as I said to Taylor, if they get Ben Johnson or Mike Vrabel, I will never forgive the Chargers because to me, the reason they got rid of Mayo was how bad that Chargers game was. If that Chargers game, maybe not competitive, but is at least a little bit closer, I think Mayo still has his job. That being just a complete dog walk, just like you're embarrassed, like we're embarrassing you on national television. Got Mayo fired. It was just like, nah, this job's too big for you.
But at the same time, just like that's like a bottom 5 roster in football.
No, I don't know
what you want for him.
No, it just seemed like it got worse for him as the season went on. He started really well.
I think it was
week one.
Every press
that week one destroyed 2 teams.
Yeah.
Every single press conference, he felt out of depth.
Right.
He just felt completely out of depth. I am going to bring him in to talk about his most hated rival.
Whoa.
Hey, Mike is back.
Former co-host. How you going, Mike?
How's everyone doing?
Good. We're just talking about
your He's like, good. Talk to me in a few weeks. If everyone
Well, yeah.
So, look, with the Patriots, I think I really do think that that Mayo getting fired came down to he was god awful at his press conferences. Every single time he looked out of depth, and I don't know if the team bought into him. I really don't. I think it started to become pretty clear that there was a divide in the locker room. This season's not a complete failure because one, I do believe they did find their quarterback. I think, and the positive you've got with getting rid of Mayo is okay, cool. We've admitted a mistake that we made. They did it quick enough. They didn't do it in 2 years where they've just now ruined Drake May. They've done it quick enough to be like, all right, let's go get Vrabel or Ben Johnson. Lastly,
You bite your tongue.
no, that's my thing. Look, I don't want it. I'm terrified.
I don't think you make the move unless you think you're getting Vrabel. I firmly do believe Vrabel is going
Another
to
former
Patriots.
Patriot.
I believe it's going to be Mike Vrabel, but I also know this is the best job in football right now, without question. Of the 5 jobs currently available, this is the best one.
Yeah, probably. Because it has the quarterback, which is already a huge.
Because you've got the quarterback, you've got the cap space, you've got the highest pick, and you have the most stable ownership. Out of it's the reason why I'd take this job over the Bears right now. I think you've got a more stable ownership here.
Yeah.
So with that, if I'm Ben Johnson, I want to go to the Patriots. I'd want to go here over the Bears, personally, but I hope that doesn't happen. So I'm I really
go to the Bears.
My fear and the thing that is generally going to keep me up at night if they get Brady. If they go get Joe Brady, where it's like, oh hey, you get Josh Allen 2.0,
another Brady, another Brady New England.
I don't want that. I do not want. Hey, Joe Brady, there's Josh Allen 2.0 over in Boston, and you're the head coach, and you've got $130-something million in cap space to go do whatever you want. I don't want that. I really don't. I no, please. No. It's like
now that you said
me, bitch. Go Lions. Have a good night.
That was really good.
So yeah, that's my big fear. That's my real big fear.
Yeah, the Patriots again. O-line's going to be a big one. They need receiver depth, defense. They just everything. But honestly, they could do anything in the draft and it would look reasonable. They're one of those teams.
No, yeah. True. This is look. I again, it's why I'm actually fucking terrified. This feels like it could be a Chargers situation, where with the high draft pick, we grab the no doubt O lineman so we can build this O line, and then late in the draft we find a couple of wide receivers, and then with our fucking huge amount of cap space, we go spend massive overpay on T. Higgins. That I could have. That's
are you calling them to make the playoffs next year? Is that what's happening?
If they
win the East next year, find Jacob.
Oh Jesus! I don't know if they're going to win the East.
I don't think they can win. I don't think they'll win the East. But trust me, like if they get a good coach and they hit on 2 or 3 of these draft picks, they're a 9-win team without question, easily. Yeah. They're a 9-win team. Now it's going to help that and they're going to have a 4th place schedule. That's the other big thing as well. And the other 2 and sorry, Mike, the other 2 teams in this division fucking suck. So yeah.
Grades for this one. I'll give them a D-.
I went D. I went D because they hit
it. They got Drake May.
D
for Drake May.
May looks good.
D for Drake.
Yeah. All right. And our only other firing today.
Head coach wise.
Jaguars.
Head coach wise, because the guy who should have been fired somehow still has a job.
What nude photos does Trent Baalke have of everyone in the NFL? I have no idea how this man still has a job and keeps bouncing from good job to good job. I don't get it. I really don't. Trent Baalke should have been fired. He has been a disaster at GM, just an absolute unmitigated disaster. He's not.
Reminder. He is the sole reason they did not take Aiden Hutchinson first overall in 2022.
Didn't take Aiden Hutchinson. Completely blew up the wide receiver market.
Yeah, surrounded Trevor Lawrence was the most mid team I've ever seen. I mean, granted, he got lucky and hit on Brian Thomas.
Yeah,
true.
Brian
Similar to
Thomas
the
is a hit
neighbors
this
thing.
year. That's a slight bright spot.
Like he's kind of like Avi Arad. Like Avi Arad every now and then makes like one good move for Spider-Man.
Does he?
No, he does. He does.
By accident.
By accident, but he still makes the move.
Mm.
But yeah, like the Jags are logic again. Like Doug Peterson, for a while, like for a solid like year and change, we thought like, okay, you know what, this is what T. Law needed.
Yeah.
And then we're just like, oh no, there's a reason Philly moved off of you.
Yeah. This is somewhere where you need whatever coach you hire next. His one and only job is fix Trevor Lawrence. Nothing else matters for this team right now.
Honestly, like this wouldn't be a bad spot for Joe Brady either.
No, it wouldn't. This is where I expect Joe Brady to go. Like, this is the one that I expect. That they're going to roll the red carpet out for and be like, Joe Brady, come here, fix Trevor Lawrence. Like, because again, if you're the Jags and Bulky, you look at, well, he quote unquote fixed Allen. I know Allen wasn't broken, but like at that season and a half, Allen didn't play amazing, and then like with the after Daboll left and we were stuck with Ken. For that season and a half, Allen wasn't amazing, and then
what did you expect? What did you expect? He was just Ken. He was just.
I know he was just Ken. So yeah,
Allen is amazing, and he's just Allen is everything, and he's just Ken.
Well, Allen's also just Allen.
So yeah, I expect right now. I do expect that Joe Brady. This is who they're going to probably go after and go after pretty hard.
Now, as far as draft goes, I think that this team is definitely going defense.
Secondary, yeah, they need their secondary. Like having went to the Jaguars Jets game, they need a secondary. Worst
Honestly,
way.
like
the Lions game too, where they got absolutely pummeled.
Honestly, like, and again, we don't know what he's playing as. I think it would behoove him to go corner, but like, if Travis Hunter does go corner, this would have been a perfect spot for him.
It would have.
They won too many games.
Yeah,
but I mean, who knows? Look. If there is a chance he falls, like there is a chance Travis Hunter does fall this low.
All the quarterbacks go for
if quarterbacks go Titans and Giants, Cleveland trade down for something else, and Patriots go O lineman instead of Travis Hunter, which I could see happening if they get someone who comes in as like, we need an O line. If they get like a Harbaugh type where it's just like O line, run the ball, protect the quarterback. I could see them move. I could see Travis Hunter drop to 5 and Jacksonville get him. And if that happens, this is perfect for them. I could also see them being like, "We need Travis Hunter." Cleveland, what do you want?
Oh boy,
like, that's their two big options that I could see. I gave him an F. This is a complete write-off of a year and a waste of a year of Trevor Lawrence.
I think some of us predicted them to make the playoffs, so I said D minus.
Yeah, I would also go D minus. I'm saving my F for those who really deserve.
No, that's fair.
This was getting D minus.
That's fair. All right, next up, the Raiders. The only one we have yet to hear a confirmation if they're staying or being fired.
I think Antonio Pierce said, as far as I know, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Well, as far as Eberflus knew, he was going to be coaching in San Francisco. So, like, the coaches don't always know what's happening, but yeah. So Pierce did speak to the press, which I get from the reminder. The Bears did this exact same shit right before they fired Eberflus. But yeah. So first of all, you got to figure out what you're going to do with your head coach.
Yeah.
This is a team that, again, there are 3 teams that are desperately need a quarterback and really need one of those top 3 spots.
But they're the lowest, so
this is one of them, and thanks to their own doing, they are the lowest.
Yeah. I said, I put in mine. I gave him a D because it's tough to be the team that missed out on the quarterback. There were 5 last year, and they were the 6th team that needed one. It's tough to be that team. So when you're like, oh, hey, we have to be Garner Minshew, like,
Well, they were sixth. They were sixth last year. They were the seventh.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
there
Because
was-
Bo Nix got taken right before.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, they were the
Yeah,
seventh.
but
Fuck, there was
but by
6 quarterbacks who were taken. Jesus Christ.
by missing the quarterback, though, they got potentially
They
a
got Brock Bowers.
transcendent tight end.
That's true.
That
Yeah,
is true.
that's
That
true.
is
That's
true.
true. They
That
nailed
is
the Brock
true.
Bowers pick.
Yep, they did. So that's that's kind of why I went with D. There's a few
Right.
things that really worked out. Again, I'm sorry to bring this up in a minute, but like the Adams trades worked out for the Raiders more than anyone
Yeah.
else. Like
Oh,
yeah, like that worked out for them. I think I would move on from Pierce. I think you need a culture setter. I think you really need someone to come in and just rebuild this locker room and make this a winning culture. This for me is Brian Flores or Aaron Glenn. I think one of those hard nosed. I'm going to build this team and build this culture. That would be good for this organization.
Yeah,
Who is like the third best quarterback in the draft if they were going to take one?
Milrow probably.
Milrow,
Okay.
and
They're
I
probably gonna take
mean,
that high.
And
Gabriel's-
you're going to take him at 6.
he's gonna get taken higher than you think.
Higher than you think, yes. Look,
Some
definitely teams will
team-
reach.
Some team is gonna get desperate reach from Milrow.
But it's like I wouldn't be surprised if it's the Raiders because they missed
Yeah.
out last year. Because I reckon the
They don't,
Raiders
yeah.
fully believed someone would be available and we can take them,
Right.
and then they were all gone. Like
And then Atlanta took Penix when nobody expected it.
We know,
so-
Yeah.
exactly. And they took
So,
Bo Nix pretty early.
I wouldn't be shocked. And
The Falcons are like geniuses for that one now.
well,
They're like idiots, but like it's not like genius. We'll get to that. We'll get to that later.
yeah. This to me, like my biggest thing for this team in the offseason is I would go get Brian Flores or Aaron Glenn. I think they're the two. The other one is potentially Vic Fangio. But
Vic Fangio back.
You're thinking defense minded no matter what.
I think a defensive minded coordinator, I think, is just going to help build this culture and build it as like we're a rough, tough. We're going
Sure.
back to Raiders football, which is just
Hard-nosed.
like smash mouth.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think that would be the smart thing to do. But yeah, I don't know.
Makes sense when your best receiver's a tight end.
Exactly. Yeah.
Makes sense for them.
Yeah, for Raiders, I would give them probably probably a D. I mean,
I said D
know
plus.
Nancy would give them an F because they had the first overall pick.
I don't think she even be that harsh on her own team.
And then Pierce would be like, okay, you know what? Fuck this. Pull the pin, drop the grenade, and peace.
All right, Mike, you ready for this?
Here we
Oh.
go.
As ready as I'll ever be.
Oh boy.
I'm just gonna write. This is what I wrote out, and then I'm gonna give you the floor, Mike. I gave him an F. Just easily. This was my spiel. Easily the biggest unmitigated disaster of a season we've had in years. Completely pathetic. Without question, the worst job in football. Who's taking it? No idea. Need someone who's going to set a culture. Vrabel would be good, but why the hell is he taking this job? Rex Ryan is the likely answer, and God help this franchise. If Rodgers is Rodgers coming back? He shouldn't, but what the hell do you do at quarterback then? No clue. Good luck to whoever takes this job.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you hear some people that are there interviewing like Rex Ryan and Arthur Smith. I'm just
Oh,
like,
boy.
I'm waiting for the Mike McCarthy one. I'm waiting for
Oh
Mike.
god. No.
All right, Mike,
Oh.
floor is yours.
Oh lord.
This was the most Jets season I've seen in a long
It is.
time.
That's also true.
in the history of Jets seasons, this will go down as one of them.
This is the most Jets.
Yeah, the wheels were like there was a case for optimism, and if you remember on Monday Night Football that Rodgers marched down the field the first time,
Yeah.
like the best drive I've seen the Jets do in a while, and then the wheels fell off, and they barely squeaked by the Titans in week 2, and it's like this isn't good, and then all of a sudden they lose to Denver at home in an early slate game in week 4. And then Sam Darnold gets his revenge. And at that point, it's like, oh, shit, this is not going the other way around.
The Bills game was closer than the scoreboard looked.
Yeah, but at the same time, like the scoreboard aspect of it, like in that game, Rodgers was in the midst of his low. Aaron Rodgers is cooked. Like I don't see any way to sugarcoat anything about Aaron Rodgers. Sure, he had that. I mean, he honestly, if he goes out on what he went out on yesterday, he can hold his head high. But he, on the way out, destroyed, took out a very well liked head coach. GM, who I'm not saying by any stretch was doing a great job, but who did make some pretty good decisions, especially on the past couple of draft nights.
Yeah.
And alienated some of the best young players in the league.
No,
In the same token, in addition to taking the interim head coach, who for the past 2 years has kind of been touted as the next big thing, and completely wiped him off the board as becoming a head coach candidate anytime again soon. There's not much I can say positive about the season. Garrett Wilson did well.
It ended.
Yeah, it ended.
it's over. I don't have to watch.
You had literally one of the best on paper defenses. Like if you play fantasy football, they were the number 1 or 2 defense taken in fantasy football at the beginning of the year and barely were able to hold. They were number 28 in scoring by the end. Like, this is an absolute disaster. Bringing up the quarterback, I don't know what the answer is. Like, I honestly think, and this is weird to say, like someone like a Justin Fields is a best case scenario. I don't really know what other options they're going to have. It's going to be a reclamation project at best at quarterback. Unless they have Jordan Travis on their roster, but he's coming off that major injury. Who knows?
The Sam Darnold reunion tour.
It could happen.
Unlikely.
I mean, it's maybe fucking Carson Wentz. I don't know.
Oh, no.
I don't know the way he played on the weekend. I don't know if anyone wants him.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Damn, Carson Wentz. You know what? Maybe it's like math or like a negative and a negative, make a positive. Carson Wentz, the Jets just like cancel out, and like we get really good football out of it.
The sad thing is though, is that legitimately there is a really good core of young players on that Jets roster, in particular that 2022 draft class, which is being squandered right now. You have now Breece Hall in his final contract year, and then you've got obviously they're going to exercise the options on Wilson and Jermaine Johnson and Sauce Gardner, but you got all these young players and nobody to steer the ship. It's unfortunate. The amount of talent that is just being wasted.
But not only that,
I will. You go.
I was going to say, are they still going to be there next year?
That's the big question.
It all depends on where Rodgers goes. Like if Rodgers decides he wants to run it back, then my God, Mike, I am sorry.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to. Obviously me.
And I will give credit to Buck. He did share this this gambling sports book that does have the odds of where they think Rodgers is going to go. Number 1 is Vegas, which, my God, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady would be, that'd be something.
It's toxic no matter where he goes.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Number 2 on the list, I don't want to talk about.
We did mention it last week.
Some other places.
And that's actually a chance, but bizarrely, I think that actually might be the other option for the Jets. One of the 2 Steelers quarterbacks, because they're both going to be free agents.
Yeah.
Whichever one the Steelers don't go for is realistically an option for the Jets.
No, like absolutely. I genuinely do believe that it's going to be hard for us to keep them both. I would like it if we did. Well, that's a strong word. We'll talk about it tomorrow. I wouldn't mind it if we did. I think we can do worse.
Fields is going to get a starting gig one way or the other, whether it be with like the Raiders and the Jets.
It's too many needy teams.
The Raiders and the Jets are the 2 obvious choices for Fields right now because where they're positioned in the draft, that he'd have an opportunity to start immediately. I think he'll end up on one of those 2.
Sure.
The sneaky candidate as well for the quarterback in this team. And again, it's all going to depend. Like, we've not even talked about who your head coach is going to be.
Right.
But like the sneaky candidate for quarterback is the 1 year Kirk Cousins deal because it's $1 million. You're going to be paying Rodgers $40. So it's $1 million just.
But you
Get through this
already
year.
tried with a 35-plus-year-old coming up in ACL.
I understand that, but this
No.
one's not going to
The,
cost.
the optics
Achilles.
don't look good.
Yeah,
The
Well,
optics look terrible.
The other thing too is they could just keep Tyrod and roll with Tyrod.
That's
I
the other thing as well.
That's not out
Yeah,
of the
you
question.
know what? Justice for Tyrod. Give Tyrod a shot.
One
he
last
could have
ride.
been better, didn't he? So speaking of coaching, like, look, as I said, this is okay. We all agree this is the worst job in football, without question.
I mean, it's up there with the Saints and the Jaguars, but it's up
I think
there.
it's less worse if it's not Rodgers, but still.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if Rodgers,
that's-
comes back,
Then yes, it's the worst. Yes.
You need a culture setter. You need someone who is going to come in and rebuild this culture. I don't know who. I don't have an answer because the ones that you're going to get are not going to want to have this job. That's what I mean. Like the ones that are in demand are not going to want this job.
So I've seen the list. Like they are throwing everything at the wall when it comes
Yeah.
to rebuilding.
Yeah.
They
When
literally are.
you're interviewing Rex Ryan again, that's how you know.
Bobby Slowick, even like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
Bob-
was one name though that did come up that has not been a head coach who they have requested an interview with that is also a previous Jets player who I was like, all right, it's a risk,
Maybe.
but it's maybe a risk worth taking, and that's Josh McCown.
Oh,
So-
God, no.
Well,
Well,
look what he just did with Darnold.
I don't know if he's ready.
Is he Darnold's coach?
Yeah,
He's the
he's the
quarterback's
QB coach
coach
in the
for the
Vikings.
Oh,
So he at least, it's not like he has no experience. But it's-
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Well, yeah,
the
no,
QB
well,
coach.
not like 2 years ago when the Texans wanted to hire him. He had like no
as a head
coach.
coach.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of
It's a bit of a risk,
situation that, like, if he screws up, nobody expected anything of it. But if
Yeah.
he does well, they'll look like geniuses. So that's kind of where my head's
High
at on
risk,
that
high
one.
reward.
Obviously,
Green-
Ben Johnson.
But they also do have to get the GM as well. I know I
Yes.
saw the Greenberg, like the Mike Greenberg, but not Get Up's Mike Greenberg was going around. Hilarious. And then so there's that. There's
What do they do with this draft pick?
Don't take the guy who would have traded 2 first and Jameer Gibbs for Miles
Don't
Sanders.
take that guy.
Don't-
What do they do
don't
with
get
this
that.
draft pick? With the 7th pick? I don't know what they do here.
Realistically, I'm thinking it's going to probably be a D lineman. It could be an O line. Like if the top, it's one side of the ball, the other, it's going to be a lineman. I think.
yeah. I'd be going like especially if that no one else has taken one and everyone's kind of gone more skilled positions. This is O lineman 100% and rebuild that O line because
Yeah. Well, and the Jets quietly got their center last year. Joe Tippmann actually was a very good draft pick in the second round in
Yeah.
2 years ago's draft. And Fashanu actually only let up 1 sack this year. So
Yeah, Fashanu wasn't bad. Fashanu was pretty good.
Fashanu, before he got hurt, only let up 1 sack. So it's not like there's not pieces there, and it's about like I said with the rest of the team, there is the talent there, but there's so many little cracks in the system that it just all the water's going through.
Yeah. All right. Well, we all in agreement. This was the okay. Do we all in agreement that this is the team that had the single worst season out of anyone in football?
Based on expectations,
No.
yes. Based
No.
on expectations. Oh,
On expectation, yes. On
Expectation, still no.
wow.
Oh,
I,
I know.
might have an idea of what Chance is
I
thinking.
know, I know who he's thinking. I know who he's thinking.
but
Um,
it's top
I mean,
3 at
yeah, it's
worst.
top 3 easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, top 3 absolutely. But like as far as even expectations go, I wouldn't say they have the worst. I'll
Yeah.
save my worst for later. Like
No. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. All right. Well, you're welcome to stay, Mike. If you want to head out, you are also welcome to head out. But
I'll hang out for a minute.
all right,
Cool.
we're heading on to this is okay. So far we've just talked about unmitigated disasters. This for me is the one.
a mitigated disaster.
No, this is to me the one success story of the year.
Okay,
I'm willing to put it this as a success story, and that's
A mild success.
I think
In
this
the
is-
second half of the season.
yes.
Yeah, the first half it looked like they were going to be just as bad as we thought.
Yeah, no, because look, Panthers obviously had 2 main questions coming into this season: have we got the right coach, and have we got the right quarterback?
They might
The
have
answer to
both.
one of those is a resounding absolutely. They have the right
Canales.
coach. Holy crap. Canales is a great coach. Like it's clear how good of a coach Canales is. The quarterback question,
Maybe.
I'm not willing to say pay him, obviously,
No, no.
but like,
Well, you don't have to yet.
no,
Yeah,
but
you
that's
don't
my
have to.
point. I don't have to. So I'm like, cool. I'm bringing him back and he's my starter next year. Like, I'm giving him all of next year and the year after to decide, am I willing to pay him? Because
Realistically, probably only had next year.
no,
Probably. You'd have to decide after next year to pick up the option, right?
you have to pick up
Right.
the option. You have to choose
Yeah.
if you're taking the fifth
Pick
year
up the
option.
option, but like we see it all the time. Like rookies, especially first round rookies, they play 3 years of that 4-year contract, and then like you
If
know
they still
what?
don't live up to it.
Yeah, if they live up to it, they're just like, okay, I'm gonna sit down, sit back. You're gonna pay me. Otherwise, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna ball out, and you're gonna pay me even more.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase.
Yeah, true. But yeah, no, this is I look right now. The biggest move they have to do in the offseason is get an O-line and go get this kid a wide receiver. Like
Yes.
this is if the Patriots aren't the team that get him, this should be where Higgins. This is the one where Higgins can get the
Could
most.
they
amount
get
of money.
T-Mac?
Like
Yeah.
that's
Or is
the,
that
if they okay. That's not a, if he falls to
If he
eight,
falls, they take him.
falls to
Hey,
8?
I think he will.
yeah, I
That's a
don't
good landing
disagree.
spot.
I think
but
he might be there for the taking.
Yeah, if he does, and it'd be a great pickup for him. It'd be an absolute great pickup for
And
him.
you know what? I am okay with T-Mac going here.
Yeah, you're okay.
Black quarterback throwing to there you go.
I mean, I don't love it, but you know what? There are worse places he could
I
go,
get it.
so.
I get
Yeah.
it.
But no, like that's kind of where like they're. It feels weird, but like right now for me, they're a sneaky playoff next year. Like, and not like they're a 12-win team. They're like
No.
that.
9
Week
wins.
18, 9
9
wins,
wins.
winning in.
They
You know
slip
what I mean?
in.
Like
they slip in.
they're one of those where I could very easily see them getting the 7th seed next year, very easily in the NFC.
True.
So yeah,
Yeah,
There's
I'm
some
gonna
hints of
give
hope.
Panthers all like C- for this season.
I gave him a C. I was like,
I
this
guess C.
I gave him a C. This is for me.
Half good. It was half bad and then half good.
Yeah. I don't know. In all seriousness, I think they're the one success story of teams that are already eliminated so far this year. This is a weird year where most teams that are eliminated, like most of the teams that had expectations failed, and the teams that were like surprises made the playoffs. So yeah,
Mm.
all right,
Finally be hope.
yeah.
For
All
Carolina.
right, next up. Oh boy, Saints.
Hey,
What do you do?
what the hell happens here?
The Bills come due. It's as simple as
Yeah.
that. You've
Well,
kicked,
the Bill's been due. The Bill's been due for
but
years.
that's what I mean. You kicked it down the can that much. You've kicked the can down the road that much. It's finally gone. It's due, guys. You got to pay it. And the unfortunate reality is the only way to pay it is by extending old players even further and just kicking it. And they're going to be a terrible team next year. They're gonna be
I was about to
really-
say the same. I literally was about to say, like, I could see in the 2026 draft this being the first pick.
Yeah,
Mm.
they're gonna be a bad team. But the thing, like, they're gonna be a bad team because, and it's not gonna be like the Patriots this year or the Cardinals the year before, where it was, they're a bad team because they're all so young and
There's not that many young players.
and
Yeah.
they're really cheap talent. No, it's the opposite. You guys are all so freaking old that you're all just kind of we can't be on this team like that.
It's wild that the Saints are able to field a team any year because they're so far over the cap.
Yeah,
They're so injured a lot. They always
That
get injured every year.
Like it's gonna be filled with practice rosters, like absolutely filled with practice roster people, because that's all they're going to be able to do. And given a lot of the players who are still on the salary cap retired 3 years ago, or like they're on voided years, like that's where we're at. Derek Carr is still going to be their quarterback next year, guys.
Yeah.
Like they can't
What
get
else
out
are
of
they
that
gonna do?
contract.
Yeah,
He
that's
is
what I was
going
thinking.
to be their quarterback next year. Like
They got
That's not
a
good.
better option.
they don't like
No,
it's.
they
There's
don't.
got no other option.
Remember those first 2 weeks the Saints were really good.
Yeah,
Oh, I remember.
Oh, what a 2 weeks those were. There were no murders in New Orleans.
I still regret I had Derek Carr on my fantasy team and like had two offers for him. I was like, I need my third quarterback. Man, I should have sold high.
We should have sold high on every Saint we had.
That was a sell high candidates.
Oh, you think that's no? The one that I turned down that I am a moron for turning down.
Oh, no.
Sorry,
was yours?
Josh Allen for Brock Bowers and Caleb Williams.
Oh,
Yeah,
I offered you Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes just straight up. Oh, and
Yeah,
my
that one I
defense, and my
said no.
defense.
yeah, that one. I mean, that one I don't know if I would have come out on top as much. I would have come out close, but I don't. No, because I would have had to also give you the Steelers defense.
You didn't want to do that.
Yeah, that was the other thing. I don't know if I would have come out on top. Caleb, like this was Caleb Williams at week 6, so the height just before
The height
Hail
of
Mary.
that's when I traded.
Oh,
Caleb.
right before the candidate, right before the Hail Mary.
Right before the
Yeah,
Hail Mary.
right before the Hail Mary, and when Josh was looking bad after the 2 games with the Texans and the Ravens, that was mine.
That was the
That was
perfect
I got
time,
offered that, and I was like, no, because Mahomes had a bye coming up, and I was like, no, I want because we had the 2 quarterback league, so yeah,
Yeah.
that was dumb.
Anyway,
Saints, I don't know what you do. Like, look, my honest answer right now for the Saints, because this is the other team that need a coach. Go get a college guy, give him a 5-year contract, and say we know we're going to suck for 3 of them. That's the answer. I don't know.
Gotta help the miserable bastards known as Saints fans.
Yeah, like go get go get someone in college. I don't know who, because I'm not that deep in college, but get someone in college who has been able to set a culture inside college and who knows offensive players, who can do recruit. Because essentially that's what you're gonna have to do in the Saints is recruit essentially for 3 years, because you're gonna have to be able to know. I need to know these players better than the draft process.
Mike, okay, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong. Dabo Sweeney's still the coach at Georgia, right?
Sweeney.
No,
That was-
Sweeney's-
No, he's Clemson.
Clemson, that's right. Clemson.
Yeah, I know that one. yeah.
Kirby is Georgia,
Kirby,
right?
Yes,
Kirby's
Kirby.
Georgia, yeah.
Kirby, maybe.
So
Kirby,
the Saints apparently are aggressively going to go after Glenn, from what I have read.
which is a former player, right? Yeah.
That is true. He is.
Or former.
would-
I think
here's the thing with Glenn. That's not a bad pick. My one thing for the Saints and whatever they do, they have to be willing to acknowledge we are going to be bad for 3 years. It has to be like a 5-year
you
contract.
have to be
of-
patient. You can't.
Yeah,
fire Glenn
they
after
have
1
to
year.
do a lot. They have to do the Lions. They could go 0-17 next year. It is a very, very real possibility that they go 0-17 or 1-16 next year, and then build from that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
For those first 2 weeks, I'll elevate them to a D. Just because
yeah.
those first 2 weeks were just so great.
yeah,
D-minus.
I went D as well. All right.
Speaking
PLT.
of Caleb Williams from just a few minutes ago.
My God, 4-2,
boy.
4-2 to the. Granted, they won their Super Bowl at the very end of the year.
Which I actually think is
They
a
did.
loss. I actually think it's a loss, but
It's the Gunman Wars pick.
no, not only that, because it's one of those we broke the streak, but for what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and if the Commanders lost, I'd be like, you know what? We broke the streak and we stopped them from getting the 6th seed. But then they didn't. The Commanders won. So like it was literally for nothing.
I did like they asked DJ Moore after like what it felt like. He was like, "It's the Packers, screw them."
Yeah,
The players are
The players,
Yeah.
they just wanted to like
just
nobody
wanted
wants
to
to
stick it
end
to
on
them.
an
They
11
just wanted
game
to stick
losing
it to them.
streak.
no, that's true. Well, it would have been a 12 game at that point.
No, 11.
I thought they'd lost.
They
Oh,
were-
no,
they-
you're right.
It would have been
were
11.
four-
They
were
would have
4-2.
lost. They would have ended
Yeah.
an 11 game losing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, who knew a lame duck coach and a horrific O-line would, cripple their generational quarterback?
Everybody,
Yeah.
except for some reason, Vegas, who had Eberflus as like the second best odds coach of the year.
I had the Bears making the playoffs. I think.
So did he.
Yeah, that was misguided.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, all hope, all optimism, all expectation.
It
The
left
Bears
with Tyreek
died on that Hail Mary.
With
Oh,
Tyreek
easily.
Stevens.
The Hail
Tyreek
Mary that
Stevens.
ruined a season. I've never seen it. I've never seen a single play destroy
Mid-season.
a franchise.
Mid-season.
You called it the canon event in our
Yeah, no,
chat.
like
That was
it's
perfect.
like across Spider-Verse. Like that was their canon event.
It was ridiculous. It's like just like it would be like 13 seconds happening
Yeah.
it'd be like
week seven.
in the
13
middle of the year.
in week 7 and the Bills just never recovered.
Never won a game again.
Like wait, what?
It was basically-
Like I've just never seen it. It's
It'd be like the butt fumble, but actually the exact same.
but again, the butt fumble was a
It's one every
playoff
year.
game, so like it's at least
No, it
No,
wasn't.
no, the Butt Fumble
I
was
don't think
on
it was. No,
Oh,
I think
Thanksgiving.
it was.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Sorry, right?
Now the Butt Fumble did knock them out of the basically knock them out of the playoffs. So, like it wasn't
Right.
mathematically impossible, but it more or less knocked them out of the playoffs.
So like look, this to me is the second biggest disappointment of the season.
Yeah.
I just and I understand. Look, I know they're going hard for Ben Johnson. I know that they want Ben Johnson. I know that they really want him, but this isn't going to be a quick fix. This isn't just Ben Johnson.
You will get Cliff Kingsbury and like it.
That's the fear for you Bears fans.
I will not be shocked if that
That's the
happens.
fear.
I really do think I would laugh so hard.
So here's the question: that the coach obviously they need an offensive minded coach, no doubt.
Yes.
Like
Oh,
they
100%.
100%. You were talking earlier about Cleveland potentially holding up the draft pick and saying who or even the Giants.
Stefanski. Trade for
The
Stefanski.
Bears to go up and get the offensive lineman. That's the team
Oh,
to
I see.
watch who's
Got
going
it.
to
Oh.
trade up.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, they definitely don't. Yeah, they definitely.
they
don't.
definitely.
they
After Caleb was the most
desperately
sacked
don't.
quarterback.
Yeah. Look, I think it's now become a very proven commodity of the fact of they wasted that 9th pick. Like it's as good as Adunze, and he's not.
Adunze is really good, but like that was a luxury pick. You
It
could not
was.
afford.
You did not need him. You needed
You
a
could have had Fashanu.
Yeah,
like,
they could have
yeah.
Fosh you.
They,
Exactly.
Or almost anyone else.
They
besides
got
Joe
Fosh
Alt.
you. Could have had Fuaga. Could have had Fatani. A lot of effort.
Yeah.
The only one gone was Joe Alt, I think, right?
Yeah, Alt was
So-
gone.
Yeah.
All was gone, and
oh no,
Latham
the
was gone.
Titans took.
Casey
Latham.
Yeah,
So there's
yep.
only you
Yeah.
had your pick up. beside
That's
those two.
so that is the big like that's the most underreported mistake that the Bears made. Like no, that's
Yeah.
the one where it's like, oh, it all started there. You went luxury pick because you all believed
He
in
wanted this
it.
flashy. Offense.
Exactly. And then the other big problem they've had was they kind of they took away what made Caleb Williams Caleb Williams. They terrified him that much of making the mistake because they were like, and again, this comes down to Eberflus, where Eberflus was like, our defense is going to be so elite and so good as long as you don't make a mistake, we're going to win games. And it took away.
And then
cool.
Tyreek Hughes said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, everyone was like praising how Caleb Williams wasn't throwing interceptions, but like I kind of prefer if he does throw interceptions.
Exactly. That's my point. Like that's my point. Like
then he's trying and
But
taking
because okay, if that's what you were going to do, you should have gotten Bo Nix. You should have got like
exactly. Well, yeah.
Caleb. That's not Caleb Williams. He's not a system quarterback who has a massive high floor but a really low ceiling. Caleb, you've got to let him be able to throw the ball and be able to and create, and they weren't, and that's so yeah. Ben Johnson for this team would be really, really good. They need offensive mind, but they need someone like the thing that I'm fascinated by Ben Johnson is, and I don't know what type of culture he creates. I don't know if he's is he just the flashy because in the Lions,
Well, the Bears just run trick plays if they hire.
but that's kind of my point. In the
They're going
Lions,
to do bad plays on purpose.
yeah, in the Lions. We know Dan Quinn is a culture setter. We know that he is not Dan Quinn. Sorry, Dan Campbell. That Dan Campbell is the one who sets the culture and set. Is Ben Johnson going to be like that, or is he going to be more of someone who can't do that, but is just an offensive genius that doesn't really create this culture within the Bears? Because if that's the case, that's concerning.
Well,
Well,
that's a question. Like, is he going to be a Kyle Shanahan or is he going to be a Josh McDaniels?
Yeah.
Like, this dude who comes from like this really, really good, just really, really,
System.
really good culture, really, really good system, tries to do it on his own, and then just falls flat on his fucking face.
Yeah.
The thing with going with the current Lions is like Dan Campbell is one of a kind. Like
That's the
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
you can say, and there's I think there's a pretty good likelihood that if the Lions do continue on the path that they're going, which I think they probably will, I see no reason why they won't for at least a couple of years, that the Dan Campbell tree could become a thing. But the thing is, that is a one of a kind human being. Like,
Yeah.
I don't.
You're not going to
care-
find Dan Campbell on Dan Campbell's staff. I feel
Right.
Like.
Yeah.
No, and
So,
that's
like,
that's
You
kind of
got to go to the back alleys of Detroit to try and
Yeah,
find
exactly.
that's kind of my point, and that's the concern I personally have with whoever gets Ben Johnson is he's going to go to a bad franchise, no matter what. Like out of all the jobs currently available, he's going to a bad franchise. Is he going to be able to go in there and rebuild a culture in a team that needs a reset in culture? The Bears need a reset in culture because they've always, forever and a day, have been this defensive-minded team, and he's going to try and go in and be, we're the trick play team now. That's going to butt heads with certain owners. That's going to butt heads with Ryan Poles as a GM, which I don't know how Ryan Poles still has a job, just quietly, but like that, there's that element that I would be concerned about if I with Ben Johnson and the Bears. But I don't know. I also don't know who is the answer at this point, other than Ben Johnson for this Bears team.
Yeah. Bears season grade. I'd probably give them. They had a good 6-week stretch, and then they went back to being the Bears. For the memes alone, I'll give them a D+.
Until week 18, the last game they won was in London, I believe.
Yeah. They didn't win a game on American soil for
Until the last week of the season. Yeesh.
God.
No.
And they finally beat the Packers. So good D+.
There you go. There you go.
All right. Next up. Oof. Chance.
Is this the one chance? Is this the
Chance.
one? This
No.
is the one. Oh, it's not. Oh.
No,
I don't actually have a drink on me, but congratulations. You called this at the start of the season. This one's all like you called it. I know you were being smart when you called it, but you called it. So well done.
Doesn't matter how you
I
get
thought it was
back.
being cocky, but okay.
Yeah, no, but I mean that's what I meant. Like,
Yeah.
sorry, I don't know if that's the language barrier. He was being a smart ass when he called it.
And he was right.
Yeah, you're right. Fuck,
The
what a bad
downfall
season.
of the 49ers occurred.
If there's anyone who needs to be fired, it's their strength and conditioning coach.
Yes. Oh my
Whoever
God.
that is.
What do they do to these men? What do they not do?
Yeah.
Rapes them mentally.
So
I gotta look this up.
look again. The injuries. Jesus Christ, the injuries.
The end.
Astronomical.
Just pull out the CVS receipts.
Yep. The one silver lining of this season, more than anything.
Mickey Pearsall. I don't know.
What could that be?
No,
Pearsall.
no.
That was the
The
feel-good
one
story?
silver lining, and it's a bad silver lining, and it's kind of a mean-spirited one. It's just it may have saved him from making a disastrous mistake at quarterback, like a straight up, like it may have just saved them from making a franchise-destroying mistake in paying Brock Purdy because he's not getting paid now. Straight up, he's not getting paid $60 million a year.
Well, I mean, like, there's a lot of people who next year I just do not think are going to be on this team. Like,
Oh yeah,
Debo gone.
Debo's
Trent
gone.
Williams, gone.
Yep,
Yeah.
Fucking Travarius Ward gone.
yep.
Like Javon Hargrave probably gone.
I don't know if McCaffrey's going to be back. I
McCaffrey
really don't.
might be gone.
Well, he might not be back because of injury. I don't know.
That's
But no, but that's still another big time
Right.
player who might not come back.
Yeah, like what we saw this season was the Niners Super Bowl window officially being slammed shut.
And
And they once again continue their weird streak of all or nothing. Every year they either go to the NFC Championship game or they miss the playoffs entirely. There's no in between.
So, like, my takeaway as I've said, I've been screaming this for the last couple of weeks, but this is on John Lynch. This is 100% on the GM and the trade. The trade. Like everyone kind of like laughed it off as like, oh, at least they found Purdy and it kind of made up for the Trey Lance mistake. Not really, because you gave up 3 fucking firsts still.
And you didn't actually win a Super Bowl.
Exactly.
If
like,
they had won a Super Bowl, then it's a little different.
Well, yeah, if they won the Super Bowl, then no one cares. And also, if they win if they won the Super Bowl, we'd be talking to them like we talked about the Rams after the season after that, where it's like, hug the ring. You got a ring. No one cares. Like everyone's kind of happy for you. You got your ring, and then they bounced back and they're all good now. But like right now, the 49ers is you didn't get a ring, and this is the all or nothing, and that's the unfortunate thing where you need those 3 picks, and those 3 picks have blown up, and like, and the players that the players that the Dolphins got, they've all turned out pretty good. Now the Dolphins will get through, but like the players have turned out good.
They turned those picks into 3 good players.
Exactly. Like, and that's the problem. The 49ers weren't able to do it, and because they weren't able to do that, they now got a very old, a very expensive roster that they're going to have to rebuild, and it's not an easy rebuild, and this isn't going to take 30 seconds. I don't expect Shanahan to be fired. If he was going to be, he probably would have already been. I wouldn't.
The seat is hot next year, though.
It's the seat for him and Lynch next season are insanely hot, especially given they're not going to re-sign Purdy. They're going to tell Purdy, "Hey, you're sitting for you're playing for another year, and then if you do really well, then we'll re-sign you." And if that happens, then if he doesn't, and all 3 of them are gone, cool. It's a plain reset, and you don't have to, and it's not going to cost them any money. It's not going to cost them any it's not going to be difficult to reset. This is you saved because the injuries were bad, but Jesus Christ, this is a failure of a season.
Yeah. And you know what? You brought this on yourself by signing the devil in the offseason. Good job, 49ers.
The devil got hurt. So
you thought killing the devil would save you. It did not.
All right, Mike.
F for signing the devil alone.
Oh
Mike, I'm gonna let you have this one because I know how much you love this team.
This was fun. Like,
yeah, for us.
Yeah,
everyone not a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, this is just more of the same.
This was a team that, like, prior to the season, like, the writing seemed on the wall with this. Like, when they said they were going all in, and it's like, what exactly did you do that is all in on this team? And, like,
they signed a long snapper.
Yeah. The Lamb holdout. Now Lamb's getting paid, and then you don't even know long term really how anyone else on the team is going to be there. You know, they were set up for failure, and boy did they fail.
Oh yes.
Yep.
We got classic Cowboys moments. Classic Jerry Jones quotes, as always.
But like,
we got so many great Jerry Jones quotes this year.
I feel like this was Jerry Jones amplified. Like, this was Jerry Jones with his bravado, adding like a Rex Ryan bravado to it, like combining it and multiplying it. And this team had, from day one, was not built to do anything, and they lived up to the hype.
At best, they were just destined for like a wild card exit, and then they couldn't. And then as soon as you lose Dak Prescott,
more
you can't even do
optimistic
that.
than I was on.
Yeah, they can't even do that.
Yeah, I mean, look, this team, like, you maybe have a quarterback in that. I think we all agree Dak Prescott's
You're stuck
good.
with him, right?
Like,
you're stuck with him.
Like Dak Prescott, he'll take you somewhere, but not where you really want to go.
Yeah. You have a quarterback. The unfortunate, the problem. Okay, you have a good quarterback. I think everyone kind of can agree. Dak Prescott is at his floor.
Minimum,
He's
he's
a
good.
good quarterback. The problem
He's
is,
at the
he's
old
not-
Kirk Cousins line.
yeah,
like-
the problem
Exactly.
is he's the highest paid quarterback in football. So like and so all of a sudden he has to make up that difference, and it's too big of a difference. He's not going to make it up. So I don't know what the Cowboys do. Where are we on Mike McCarthy? Is he keeping his job?
That's
I don't
the
know how
weird
he's not
thing.
been fired yet.
Well, here's the thing. He doesn't even
Well,
need
he
to
doesn't
get
have to be
fired.
Right,
Yeah.
right, he's at the end of his contract.
Like he's
Yeah.
got 4 more days. 4 more days until we'll officially find out whether or not he's
the
been-
way they're speaking, it sounds like they're gonna keep him. So,
I think the way
No.
Jerry was talking, I have a feeling it's gonna expire and run out.
Yeah,
I think it's wild.
I think McCarthy. If they keep McCarthy, that's gonna wow. I'd be amazed.
So his contract officially expires on the 13th. All right, that is when he's officially a free
So
agent.
it's a week from today.
A week
Yeah.
from today, he will officially be a free agent. A week from today,
and knowing the Cowboys,
I
will wait till
fully
midnight.
expect that to happen. I fully expect that for that contract to run out. Then it becomes the question of, do the Cowboys just re-sign him after it expires? Like he goes and interviews with the Bears.
Yeah.
The Cowboys
Yeah.
go and interview other candidates and then just come back to Mike McCarthy. I think that could happen. Where other candidates get told, well, you're under Jerry. Jerry is the GM. You won't make any decisions in terms of personnel, in terms of rostering or any of that. You get play calling and you get game day decisions. That's it. That is your job, and culture within the building from that point of view. But it is Jerry's job. Jerry is the GM, and Jerry is the head honcho, and the buck stops with him. I don't know if there's any other coaches in the league that's going to take that job.
No, because they don't want to answer to that.
Exactly.
A crazy
Yeah.
old man.
Yeah, like I feel an 82-year-old who doesn't know anything about the game of fucking football. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the only other one maybe, but I think there may be some bad blood there, is Kellen Moore. If there
There's
is,
no way.
if
No,
there is the
I
come
doubt it.
home, like that's the one. If Kellen Moore doesn't get a job anywhere else, I could maybe see that, especially if the Eagles make the Super Bowl. The Eagles go all the way and make the Super Bowl. That's one that I could maybe see, where it's like come home and be the head coach here.
We messed
especially if he doesn't. It would.
We're sorry.
Yeah, I think it'd be dumb, but
Yeah.
for both sides, to be
Yeah.
honest. Like I think it'd be dumb for both sides, but I could see it happening.
Yeah, for this season, give you a big D for Dallas.
Yeah, that was me. I gave him a D.
C minus, D plus. Because 1 week.
All right. Next up,
The Dolphins. Wow.
Jacob just
You know what? Miami down bad. Miami might lose Jimmy Butler and Tyreek Hill in the same week.
and not only that, and Jalen Ramsey.
And
Jalen
Jalen
Ramsey put out
Yeah.
put out the like I'm so underappreciated quote, like that's like something that was just like being underappreciated, like a quote, a story that's had basically like I've seen the meme before, but it was like basically I'm so underappreciated, woe is me, fuck off. Like dude, you're one of the most overrated safeties.
Oh, poor me with my
Like,
millions
I'm
of
sorry,
dollars.
grow up. You were great. You were great 7 years ago. You are like grow up.
You had a stretch as the best corner in football. And
Oh,
now
absolutely.
You are
That stretch is over.
overpaid and underachieving.
Yeah, absolutely. That also sums up Tyreek Hill, and sorry, it's true. I'm sorry, it is true. Tyreek Hill has not been good this year at
No, he
all.
wasn't.
He was not good, and you cannot just blame that on Tua.
The best game he had when he got arrested.
Yeah, but like that's like so. Okay, this Dolphins team. I understand the Tua concussion is a story and how bad they were when Tua wasn't there, but when Tua came back, they weren't good still. Like
Right.
they didn't improve. They didn't suddenly go, "Oh, we're a playoff team. We're going to be
They were just
genuinely
slightly-
scary."
They were just better
They-
because of how we
Again,
were.
yeah, they beat up on bad teams like they always do. They will always beat up on bad teams, and they can't. And then they lose to the good teams, and they lose in the cold. That's the Dolphins. This is on look. Mike McDaniels is on the single biggest hot seat next year for me personally, and I think I think the contract extension was dumb, and that's going to blow up in their face. And this isn't good. This team is not good, and they're in.
Especially like this is them now. Imagine when they lose Tyreek Hill.
Well,
Yeah.
There's not that many pieces
Yeah, Ramsey.
besides like A-Chan.
yeah. So you've got HN, you got Waddle. Like Waddle is a
Waddle's
piece.
a good receiver, but like, can he be like a true number?
He also
one?
didn't stay healthy this year, so yeah, I don't know if he's number one.
But that's my thing. Is can he be your only number one? We're gonna see.
I
Like
don't think
there's a few teams that have two number ones, and we're gonna see next year or in next year. Hey, how does your number one actually look when you are the number one? So that's going to be real interesting. If I'm them, Tyreek, you're going for a second or a third to someone in the NFC, I think. Or if you're going into the AFC, potentially the Steelers. That's one I could see for a
Oh,
third.
no reunion incoming. No reunion with the Chiefs.
Not next year. Not next year. I don't see the Dolphins being like, yeah, we'll give you back to the Chiefs. I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, just give
He
us
might
every,
suck, but I don't want to mess with that.
Give us every problematic player. Like, give us Aaron Rodgers, give us Tyreek Hill, give us anybody who people just don't want to deal with.
But I think the reason I think they won't go back to the Chiefs is because Tyreek I think wants more money because he's Tyreek Hill and he's like, I've got 9
Gotta
kids.
support
to have
those kids.
paid. And so he wants more money, which again, the Justin Jefferson.
You gotta put his contract. He's got to use birth control.
I think because I also
You
think
pay him in condoms.
here's the thing. I think you can see the writing on the wall that Jamar Chase is going to get 60. Is going to get 36 or 37. He can see that T. Higgins, because he is an unrestricted free agent and because there's so many wide receiver needy teams, is going to get
25.
30.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's going to be 33, 34. He might meet Jefferson's, like just because there's going
That'd
to
be
be
wild. Two
be
high
wild for
receivers are T. Higgins and Justin Jefferson.
Well, it's just going to be because it's a wide receiver needy market right now,
Oh, so.
and T. Higgins is the only
The
real
best
one
one,
available. So I could see that, and because of that, Tyreek Hill's going to be like, I want to be paid. I want to be paid the same amount of money. Dolphins aren't doing it, so he's going to be like, I want to be out. I want a new team. And so where's he going to go that can afford that?
Probably a bad team.
Exactly. Well, that's why I think
name value.
so that's my thing. I think he goes to a bad team for a year because the contract's not worth it. The current contract that he has isn't worth for a good team to take.
Right.
So it's going to be a bad team. It's going to have to be a bad team to take it because the current contract's not worth it for a good team. And then after that, then he'll get cut. And then we'll see where he goes. But it's also going to depend on how good is he. Because the thing with Tyreek was never that he was Anthony, he was Hopkins, where he's just you throw a ball up there, I'm going to get it. Same with Jefferson. They're not just I can beat you. They are the corner can be right there, and I will beat him. Tyreek was I'll beat you on speed.
He wasn't a contested catcher. He was a burner. Which
Yeah,
I will just
And
outrun
the
you.
problem is he is now old, and that speed is gone, and the corners are catching up to him, and he can't contest. That's the problem. That's Tyreek's problem right now. Is unfortunately he got old. Sorry, dude. Like it happens.
To all of us.
It does. It happens. You got old. It's kind of a thing that happens in the football, and so now. I don't know where the Dolphins go. They're a bad team. Do you remember 12 months ago where everyone was singing the praises of Mike McDaniels? And right now he's definitely on the hot seat as the head coach.
1,000%.
No,
He's,
AJ put in the chat. Tyreek going to the Panthers. I could see that. You want to get Bryce Young a good receiver?
I could.
If only for a
that-
year.
I could. I really could see that.
Start
one coming.
Deontay Johnson arc. Goes to the Panthers.
Oh,
goes like
He's the
300
next
teams on
Deontay. He's the next
God.
Deontay.
Can you imagine that 3 years from now, Tyreek Hill gets cut from the Ravens or something? Like, and it's just like, and but like the end of Tyreek Hill's career is just he got cut
Bouncing
from a
from
team
team to
mid-season. No one cares, and no one cares. Like that.
Mhm.
That would be devastating. Like that actually would be really sad for a career.
And
Like
someone who
Tyreek
was
Hill.
like the number one receiver for
Yeah.
4 or
Someone
5
who
years.
at one point, if
2 years, yeah.
Tua didn't get hurt 2 years ago, had a genuine potential to be MVP. Like was on track.
Was on track of like the first 2,000-yard receiving season.
Yeah, to
Mm.
act and to be MVP. Like it was,
Mhm.
if Tua doesn't get hurt in that season, it happens.
It happened.
And, yeah,
Yeah.
just yeah.
Oh.
Again, I don't know. The Dolphins this is an F. I'm sorry, this is an F. You were one of the worst teams this year, and
Yeah.
just such a disappointment.
D
for
minus.
D for
Yeah.
Dolphins.
All right,
It's just fitting.
Colts.
Oh my god! Again, you talk about how Trent Baalke has like black money, but I'm convinced. Like I'm convinced like Chris Ballard is like Grim Wormtongue to Jim Irsay. Like Jim Irsay, who I saw like looking like super like old and decrepit, like coming out like a scooter to the game.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh, my God.
motherfucker, you are 65. Like you're like
Drugs are a hell of a thing. So here's the thing. Okay. Biggest questions this offseason.
Richardson.
100 biggest questions this offseason, 100%. What do you do with AR? It's the question.
I think you keep him. Like cost you nothing to keep him. Like I bring in someone
Well, yeah.
else to compete, but like cost you nothing to keep him.
Yeah. If you're keeping Shane, if you keep Steichen, you've got to, yeah. I don't know at this point.
Maybe take a swing on a late round guy like Dylan Gabriel or McCord or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, just late round swing probably. I'm fascinated by what they do going forward with like McAfee and trying to rebuild that fan, like trying to win back the fans.
Oh, he's going to be the next head coach. Just kidding.
Can you imagine the play calling?
Oh my God.
It's gonna be that fake punt every play.
Sad part is
Inside job. He's going to sabotage them from the. Yeah.
Sad part is like it'd be that would be a massive pay cut for McAfee. Massive pay cut. I don't know what the answer is for these guys because they are becoming the Jets. Sorry, Mike, not trying to get another dig in. But they're becoming the Jets in that it's just another one of the shit, guys. Like our owner is fucking old and decrepit and insane.
And what young talent you do have, you're
Yeah.
kind of squandering. Yeah.
Yep.
Like the Taylor.
Oh
And
yeah.
Pittman.
Oh,
Rough.
yeah.
I mean, look, they did the one good thing. They fired Gus Bradley,
They did. They did
Just
fire Gus Bradley today.
which
They
was
did good.
necessary. Very,
Yeah.
very necessary.
As soon as
I
he
don't
gave
know.
up 45 points to the Giants, that was
Yeah, that
That
was
was the
bad.
nail in the coffin.
that was
Yo. Well, Mike, thank you so much for coming on here and sharing your Jets pain.
Oh, yeah.
Where are we gonna find you?
You can find me every Wednesday night on What the Show. Everybody here has been on here multiple times. This week is an annual tradition we do. We always do a year-end recap the first Wednesday of the year with Paul Preston and Adam Witt. So we will have our full recap of the year 2025 with Paul and Adam on Wednesday night.
Well, we look forward to that, and we look forward to bringing you back when the Jets sign Rex Ryan, so we can just have your full
Oh,
breakdown.
if they bring back
We can have a
Rex
full
Ryan-
meltdown
If
on
they bring
camera.
back Rex Ryan and Aaron Rodgers the same week, I fully expect to just like bring back Mike as a rotting corpse.
I won't be able to stream if that happens.
You don't deserve this suffering.
Take it easy, everybody.
Mike has gone missing.
All right, Chance. The floor is yours.
Yeah, okay. You talk about biggest disappointment in football. For me, it's this. It's the Falcons. Because they
almost salvaged it. They
had everything in their grasp, but they went full Atlanta and just fumbled it all away. Like the Falcons for me get an F this year because they had on paper they had everything they needed, but it just cratered right before. Like they had chances, the chance to take the division, chance to make the playoffs, and every time they had a chance to do something, they just let it slip away.
Yeah. This has been nothing but a disaster. There's no other words for it. Again, look, the positive you've got is
you might have found your guy.
You might have found something in this kid. This guy's good. He's really good. Like again, wasn't great yesterday, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. But like for the most part, it was like his 3-game stretch was.
There were flashes. Yeah,
there were. The unfortunate reality you now, and again, we all laughed at the pick at the time. In hindsight, it's the right pick. Unfortunately, it's the reason it's the right pick is because
because Plan A went
went up in flames,
and that's the thing. Like, because here's the thing: if they never sign Kirk at all, like if they don't sign Kirk Cousins, and then they just draft Penix, and they just draft Penix. We're all going. Well, this season
higher grade.
Isn't an F. It's not an F. This we'd be saying successful season. Successful season. You just missed out. Like you'd kind of feel like
they might have a chance to make it if they
exactly. We probably aren't even talking about them today.
Yeah, but like it'd be one of those ones where it's like, Morris, not a bad head coach because given what he was able to do with that defense, like given. We're not sitting here going, well, why the fuck didn't you draft defense? Like, because we all understand, because you had to get Penix. Like, there's a lot more sympathy, I guess. But because of the Kirk Cousins hire and then drafting Penix, it's like, this is nothing but a disaster. This is just this is stupid. And now Morris Morris is on the hot seat, 100%. Like, this is. I don't think they'll get rid of him this year. No, but he's on the hot. But he's on the hot seat.
They would have done it already. They would have done it.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is Arthur Blank is not someone who is a relative, who's kind and like, I'll wait a couple of weeks until a review or anything. No, this is the guy who did it literal midnight. So, who first chance he got, he was like, you are done.
At the same time, the Falcons, if they don't take a defender this year.
They have to. They got to rebuild this team.
We say that. It seems like we say that every year.
We say that every year. We say that every year, but the difference is they're not within the top 10 this year. So
that's true.
They can't waste a top 10 pick on an offensive skill player that they're not using
on a tight end that'll never pan out.
They got to start paying these offensive skill players that they've
Drake
drafted.
London and Bijan probably. You can't pay Kyle Pitts.
You can't pay Kyle Pitts. No,
London and Robinson.
I think you pick up the option for Kyle Pitts.
But that's what I'm more getting at is. They've drafted him over the last 4 or 5 years. At some point, these contracts are going to expire.
I think the option. I think I already picked up Pitts' option. If not mistaken.
Yeah, I think next.
Like I'm like 2021.
Yeah, 2021. So I'm confident that
they did. They already did.
Year. Okay, so he will be back next year. If he does pan out next year, next year's the year.
No,
that Kyle Pitts finally emerges. I know no one's gonna believe it.
No one's
gonna count on Pitts.
No, you know what happens if that does? The smart option is he's the one who gets franchise tagged.
Yeah, he'll probably.
That's the smart option is you franchise tag him and be like, because I think
now do it twice.
I truly think Daniel Jones. What happened with Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley has scared every other franchise from now on from ever paying someone after one good year.
Yeah.
I'm starting to really think that, like, especially given all the conversations we've seen around Sam Darnold, like even before.
We'll talk about Sam Darnold tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. Oh God, hey, egg, my face. Yeah, Falcons. What a disaster!
God damn.
Yeah. Next season, Morris, massive hot seat. The only thing you've got to do is Penix has got to develop into a better in someone better. If you can, I'd probably be looking at a better OC, but I don't know who else you're gonna go get.
You probably just want
now.
continuity to
Yeah.
to completely learn.
Yeah,
something new.
I don't think Robinson goes anywhere.
Yeah, so
Just keep it.
this,
Let him develop.
yeah, this you got next season, guys. That's kind of really it. And then if it doesn't pan out, well,
Blow it all up. I'm just kidding.
No, I
mean, maybe.
it's going to. So yeah,
If it doesn't pan out, Terry Fontenot's definitely gonna be fired.
you know what the sad, not sad. You know what the because it's not sad. It's their own making. But like the somewhat sad element for the Falcons is this division is just going to get better. No, this division is just getting better. Like the Panthers have been an unmitigated disaster. The Saints have been an unmitigated disaster. The Bucks have squeaked by for the last 3 years. Like this division's been there, but next year the Panthers are going to be better. Saints are still going to be terrible. The Bucks could be better. Like they're not. The time for this division
Was these last few years.
like it was the last 3 years, and the Bucks took it and they won a Super Bowl, won 2 playoff games, and then won 2 or 3 playoff games. Like the Bucks took advantage of the fact that this division has been so goddamn terrible.
Yeah, that's
true. Falcons, you blew it. You really did. You blew it.
Much like the Falcons always do. They blew it.
Yeah. Well, we don't have Buck, but oof.
Another team where it was looking good mid-season, and it just fell.
For half this season, it was a success. For half this season, I was like, you know what? This is working out successfully. And then the last month happened.
Yeah, it started to question, was Cliff Kingsbury really the problem? That's how bad things got.
Well,
No,
yes, but
look,
yes.
You're right. Because we've seen how the Commanders ended the season, and we've seen how the Arizona have ended the season. It's like, is it Kingsbury or was it Kyler?
Or was it Kyler Murray?
Because you're right. Kyler, the last 6 weeks, has been atrocious. Like, up there as one of the worst quarterbacks in football right now. Like, he has not been good this last month. It has been very bad. So, yeah, you're stuck with him next year, no matter what. No ifs, buts, maybes. He is their starting quarterback next year. The one and only question this Arizona team has in the offseason is, can Kyler and Marvin Harrison get on the same freaking page?
Can they even start reading the same book?
Yeah, if they can't, if
it's a Call of Duty manual.
Then you need to go. Then if they can't, you need to move on from Kyler. Then that's it.
Yeah.
If next season is like this, where those two are not on the same page, Kyler's got to go. It's because, and then at that point, it's like, fine, let's find someone else and see if they can do it. Because the benefit of Kyler is he has his feet and he can, and he, his mobility.
And he can physically carry on.
But the problem you've got at the moment with his mobility is he's getting injured a lot, and he's not throwing it
Tiny.
over. Yeah, he's not able to throw it over the O lineman. He just keeps getting tipped or overthrown because he's lobbing it in that way.
He's down there somewhere.
Yeah, like that's where we're at with him, and it's not good. So if this to me is Kyler's. I think Gannon's doing a really great job with what he's got. Need a new OC, 100%. I'm shocked.
I'm
shocked
surprised he's still. I'm surprised Petzing is still here.
Yeah, shocked he wasn't fired today. So you definitely need a new OC, 100%. But outside of that, I think Gannon's safe. I don't think anything next year, like outside of a like I think less than 5 wins, his job is safe. But you need a new OC, and because next season, I think if it goes poorly, Kyler will get the blame, especially if the defense is looking as good as it has over the last couple of weeks. So, yeah,
Yeah. It's gonna. I think the problem with Kyler now, especially like next season, is when his contract really starts to hurt.
Yo.
Like that's when it starts to kick in, and you're really gonna start feeling it and be like, "Fuck!" Like we might see a bit of a talent drain. This
Yeah. The thing you got, like, if you're the Cardinals and a QB desperate team starts waving their flag, I'm 100% making that call. 100% taking that call and being like, "Yep, we will." What would you like? Like, oh, you want to give us a fifth? Absolutely, take that goddamn contract with you. Like, that's where I'm at right now with Kyler. Is I'm willing to give him up for a fifth or a fourth as long as you pay that contract. So that's not good. It's really not good. But we'll see.
Because half the season was there. I'll say.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
I gave them a C because half the season
Yeah,
they were on their
I'll
way.
give him a C.
Yeah.
They were on their way.
All right.
C for Call of Duty.
Chance.
Yeah.
The jokes never end.
I will let you.
Oh, there we go.
This comes a little bittersweet. I'll talk more about it tomorrow. I would give them a B minus, B for bitch. Joe Burrow. Look, I'll say Joe Burrow had a really great season. That team just let him down immensely.
Yeah.
This team had the league leader in sacks, the triple crown winner, and the league leader in passing yards and maybe touchdowns. I don't know.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that team didn't make the playoffs.
And that's why I'm giving him an F. I'm sorry. This is a Super Bowl team.
I'll give the defense.
I'm sorry. This is a team with one of the best quarterbacks in football. I know you don't believe that, but like
Two of the
one
best
of
receivers.
Okay, but look at all those stats. Look at everything they just did stats wise.
Yes, no, I see what he did.
Playoffs.
I see what it. But I will counter with this. Do you see how he dresses?
Again, that's my point. Like, it is remarkable that Zach Taylor still has a job today. It is remarkable.
Chance put in a call. Chance put in a call.
Yeah, I am shocked.
Look, we might have lost the battle. We might lose the battle next week, but we won the war. Zach Taylor still has a job.
Because
because they were that close.
This season was a disaster. I don't know, and funny, it came down to week one. What's the thing we always say about a Zach Taylor-led team? Oh, they start really slow. They start bad. They always.
And then you
start
have to try and make up for lost time at the end of the year. Yeah.
And what happened this season? Oh, week one we lost to one of the worst teams in football and missed the playoffs by one win. Oh, look at that!
Yeah. But then there's the ownership is going to kid themselves into thinking we were that close. We were in it.
And that's I understand.
That Mike Brown, notoriously cheap owner.
Trick themselves.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just. At some point, there needs to be some level of accountability, and I know that they fired basically everyone else. So next season,
fired most of the defensive coaches.
Yeah, including Leonard Mo, which desperately needed.
So as I said earlier, if I'm the Ravens, if I'm the Ravens, the Bills, the Lions, or the Eagles, I'm calling him and saying, "Do you want a 1 month consultancy job?" Because for everything else, he knew how to beat the Chiefs. He knew how to not beat them, but he knew how to defend against the Chiefs. He could play the Chiefs tough,
or do the Chiefs call him and bring him in for a moment consultant.
Take him away from the enemy.
That is the concern. Because if I'm the Chiefs, that's also a very smart thing. Come teach us what are we doing wrong, and then suddenly it's like, shit, they caught.
or you bring him in and just like, you know what, just what we will pay you, just sit at home for a month and not talk to anybody.
Yeah. So the Bengals are in for a rough off season, 100%, because they're either
about to back up the brake truck to Chase's house.
I think they're paying Chase and they're losing King.
But that's my thing. They're either paying Jamar Chase or they're trading him. It's one or the other. Like one of these things is happening because there is no way. Chase
You could
does
get
not
three.
play.
You could get like at least 2 first-round picks.
But that's what I mean. Chase is not on this team without a contract next year. He will not play on a franchise tag, and he will not. No, he will not play on a franchise tag. It's not happening. He will have to be paid next season.
The highest
if
paid
he wants to
receiver in
play.
football.
Yeah, and it will have to be at least 37 mil. At least.
God, if you can hear me, if
Could you imagine?
I mean, not to us, but just to take him somewhere else. Get him out of
Oh,
here.
okay. I thought you wanted him to the Steelers or something.
I mean, I'll take him.
Yeah.
I'll take
Yeah,
him.
anyone would.
That's never
That's
happening.
not
take
happening.
him.
They're not
Yeah.
trading him in the division.
No.
But, I mean, I take him, but like just send him somewhere else. Send him anywhere else.
Like, so that's a bit like my my single biggest fear if that happens is the Patriots. That's my single biggest.
Well, they might just get T. Higgins, which is like
Okay, so that then comes the big question again
Right,
about
what do you do with T.
this team going forward. So let's assume that Chase does stay with the Bengals, which
Right.
look, 90 like smart money,
Most
it's
likely.
happening. 90% chance he's going to stay there. Even though Mike Brown is notoriously cheap. It's probably going to happen.
you got to keep.
T. Higgins is gone. T. Higgins isn't staying as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't pay both.
Yeah.
You can't pay 2 receivers over $30 million.
No.
How good do we honestly think T. Higgins is going to be on a different team? When he
Almost-
is when
almost
he
as
when
good
he-
as-
When he's the one,
number one option.
I don't know. That's a good question.
That's
I don't think he's as
the
good.
question.
I think he'll be as good as he is now, essentially.
Yeah.
If they're expecting better than what he is now, they'll probably be a little disappointed.
I think he's probably going to be about 80%. I think there is going to be a little bit of. I think there is going to be a drop off. I don't think it's going to be.
Because you got to develop chemistry, and he had chemistry with Burrow.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I do think there is going to be a drop off. I don't think it's going to be one of those like, oh my god, this is what a disastrous payday for X, Y, and Z. But I do think it's going to be an overpay. Whoever gets him, it's going to be an overpay because he's not Justin Jefferson, and you're paying damn near Justin Jefferson payment. Like you're going to have to. So there's that. The other.
You still think they should spend all their draft picks on defense?
Yes.
I think
That's what I'm saying.
At least
Yeah.
a majority of them.
majority you take at 17 you take the best defender available. You take the best defender available unless a very good O lineman's dropped. If an O lineman's dropped, I maybe would consider that, but that's the only other position. Like you cannot go skill position here. It can you can't go wide receiver. You can't go tight end. You can't go or you can't go running back or any of that. You have to go. It's either O lineman
For defense.
or defense. That's 100% where you have to go. So that's this team. Not good.
Not bad.
Because the
But that-
defense is an F, the offense was like a close to an A. Like,
Yeah. They average to a C.
Because,
And then lastly, more I think about it, this is probably a successful season. The Seahawks, like
I mean,
They were 10 and 7.
10 wins
10
under
and 7
new
and missed
head
the
coach.
playoffs.
10 wins under a new head coach. Yeah,
that's not
the
pretty good.
unfortunate reality is it's becoming more and more obvious that Geno Smith is not a starting quarterback. Like that he's
He's not the long-term answer.
exactly like he's good to a point. Like he's not gonna. I don't know if I don't think he can win you games. Like win you a playoff game. I don't think he can get you further. And if anything, he's actually holding you back a little bit because he's not letting you drop far enough to go get a good enough. Like so, if anything, it's kind of one of those like he's too good to let us tank, but he's not good enough to get us anywhere. So it's like it's kind of hard there because. Obviously, Geno's not good. He's like, I'm playing for my job. I'm never going to be like bad on purpose or anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Can't let the haters win.
Now this one, I think that there's going to be a team to take a swing on Milroe in the first round. If he drops this far, I could see them doing it.
That's not dumb. Yeah.
Hmm?
If he drops, which is the big if, like, just because of how many quarterback needy teams there's going to be.
Yeah.
And yeah,
But like,
Let him
like,
sit,
they-
and let
I
him
could see
sit for a
him.
year.
I could see him taking like a project QB and like letting him sit
I could see
for a
that.
little bit.
Did Ewers declare? Can't
He
remember.
didn't. He is not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
And I
This is-
don't think he is. I think
yeah, I
he's
think
gonna,
the report came out.
I don't
that
think
he
he's
wasn't
gonna go back
to.
to Texas. I think he's gonna go somewhere else.
Well, the Texas I know Texas have already said Manning is our starter next year. They've said that. They've said Arch is our starter next year.
Yeah. So like, if he goes back to college, he's definitely transferring somewhere else.
Yeah.
Mm.
This is somewhere I could see you as go if he does declare and it's in the second round or something. I could see.
Yeah, like if I could see him taking a flyer on you. Ewers, I mean, I think Ewers wants to go back to college to raise his draft stock again because, like, remember, like a few years ago, like 2 years ago, even at the beginning of this year, like he was seen as a potential first rounder.
Oh yeah. I mean, look. This isn't an actual thing. He's on the fucking cover of
And college football.
college football. Like, yeah, he was seen as a big deal, and then this season happened, and he dropped because he's not been good this year.
No.
But if I don't think it's going to happen. If they win the championship, there's a chance that raises him up.
Yes.
And he's like, you know what? I just won. I'm not going to have a better year than this next year. Like, no matter what, he's not going to have a. If they go through and win a natty this year, he ain't winning a natty next year wherever he goes. It ain't.
Yeah,
happening.
no, like if they win the natty, then he's going to the draft for sure.
Yeah. Even if they make it, like it's. I mean, who they'd have to beat.
Notre Dame or
No, it's not Notre Dame. Notre Dame is
Yes.
Ohio State.
no,
That's
Texas playing Ohio State. Notre Dame plays.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry, I thought
Notre Dame.
Oh,
Notre Dame
yeah,
and
no,
Penn
you're right.
State.
Sorry, yeah. Because if Texas beat Ohio State, I think that's a big enough win for him to be like for his capital to go at minimum second round. Like
Yeah.
at minimum second round. That's a big enough win. And then if he wins a natty, then I think he's a late first rounder, depending on how many QB needy teams there are. But again, remember last year we said, oh, Bo Nix, third rounder, and he was 12th. So, fuck.
Teams get desperate.
Teams got desperate, and that's
They
and,
get
and
desperate.
that's
Hey, it worked
same-
out for them.
Yeah, it worked out, but it's the same
so,
thing's going to
so
happen.
far,
this
yeah.
year. Yeah.
Seahawks did fire their OC as well. We forgot to mention.
Did they? No shit.
Yeah,
They
they
did.
did.
Ryan Grubb after 1 year.
Which I understood. Like their offense was not good this year.
No.
So yeah. I
Yeah.
gave them a passing grade. I gave them a C. Like
Yeah,
it's-
they're a team. I think this team, like if they can't get a quarterback, they might take something on defense. They need defenders desperately.
yeah.
I think investing heavily in defense in free agency too.
Yeah. So just before we go, I want to go through these. We do have right now 28 remaining coaches currently. Oh no, sorry, no, we don't. We have
That math is not math.
no, it doesn't. We have 27 remaining coaches still in football. This was just something I came up with, and I want to get your thoughts on this.
Okay.
All right, fired, can't save their job. Mike McCarthy. I think he's done. I don't know.
Yeah,
if he
no,
can save his job.
McCarthy. If McCarthy goes back to Dallas, like that's like they
God
will
help you.
like January 6th, Jerry Jones' house.
Right.
Happy
Well, how
4-year
fortuitous that we're
anniversary, by the way.
recording.
Oh yeah, happy 4 years, everybody.
Yeah. All right. Likely fired at some point before the season, in the
Next
next
season.
couple of weeks. I think it's Antonio Pierce.
Well,
Personally.
again, he's also under a 1 year contract. They wouldn't have to fire him.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
I'm pretty
I
sure his contract's only a year, so they wouldn't have to fire him.
Oh, okay. So they got until next week. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So this brings our to our hot seat for next year.
Ooh, early.
Mike McDaniels,
Yes.
Yep.
Brian
Mc-
Callahan,
Sure.
Yeah.
Raheem Morris,
Yeah, I can see that.
Less warm than the others, but yes.
Kevin Stefanski,
Yeah, slightly, but yes.
Probably. Yeah.
Zach Taylor,
Yes.
Yes.
Brian Daboll,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Shane Steichen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Easily.
All right. These are my outside of a disaster. So, and by disaster, I'm meaning less than 5 wins. I think
Sure.
five wins or less is a disaster for any organization.
Sure.
This is a safe seat. Jonathan Gannon.
Probably.
He's like right in between those two.
Yeah, no,
categories,
right.
I feel like.
Yeah,
But yeah, sure.
You
We can
say
lean
hot
towards.
seat or like just outside of disaster.
We can lean towards that.
Yeah.
Mike McDonald.
Like McDonald.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
think
no,
he's
yeah. Outside of a complete disaster, he's not.
Yes, that's yeah.
Even if that complete disaster, it might not go anywhere.
Dave Canales.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I think he's safe for at least 2 more years. I don't know.
So I think a disaster.
I don't know if a disaster gets him fired.
But I think
That's the point.
that a disaster they might, because they'll be also moving on from the quarterback.
That is true.
This is hard because I think he is a coach who every single year we have put on the hot seat, and every
Mike
year
Tomlin.
he
You
has
think Tomlin?
been No,
No,
Todd
not Tomlin.
Bowles.
Todd
Every
Bowles.
year we start,
Every
year he wins.
getting fired, and then he wins the division, and it's like, no, they're a pretty good team.
Honestly, like I'm surprised how good Todd Bowles has been.
That's the point. And I'm sitting here like,
Makes the playoffs every year.
and
Most
that's
coaches
why I'm
can't
like,
do
do
that.
I've got outside of disaster, it's a safe seat, or would survive a bad year. Like I don't know which. Like I'm kind of sitting here like,
I think I would lean would survive a bad year.
Yeah,
at this
honestly, at
point,
this
Honestly,
point, yeah,
after
like,
how much
earned
success
it.
he's had.
he's won the division 3 years in a row. Like
yeah, I think at this point he's kind of earned it. Yeah. All right. So this is just a tier that I just made. Do we need to shake the tree? This is hey, we're a good team. We're a good team, but like we can't win. As in, like we're not going any further than we currently are.
Okay.
Nick Sirianni. Again, it's going to depend
it's
on
going to depend on what happens this postseason.
No,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
100% depends on like to me, if they lose this week to
Well, yes, if they lose the first week, then
they lose this week to the Packers, or if they lose the second week to either the Vikings or whoever, like whoever that ends up being, like sorry, like if it's to the Rams, sorry, if it's the Rams, the Vikings, or whoever it ends up being,
whoever it is. Yeah.
then maybe I could see it. But if they make the conference and lose to the Lions in a close
No,
game, I
he's
can't see.
probably
I
fine.
think he's fine. Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, no, like
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan, if he has another year like this,
Yeah.
ugh.
Shake the tree.
John Harbaugh.
Again, going to be dependent on what happens this off this.
Yeah.
Again,
Minimum, he has to make the championship game.
not that I think it's going to happen, and we'll get into it tomorrow. They lose this week, Harbaugh's gone. I think they lose to the Steelers this week, Harbaugh's done. And
Yeah,
they're
the
like,
chances I think they're gonna lose. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
all right.
Who knows?
Would survive
Who
a bad
knows?
year. These are my would survive a bad year. D'Amico Ryans. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean,
a bad year.
whether or not it's fair or not, he has made the playoffs the 2
Yeah.
years he's been the coach.
Dan Quinn. If next year's bad, I don't.
If next year's
think it
bad,
matters.
like he'll be fine.
No, he'll
be
survive a
fine.
bad year. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he made it work in the first year.
Sean Payton, same thing. If next
Same-
year's
made the playoffs in
bad,
the first year, or not with the rookie quarterback.
yeah. And Jim Harbaugh. I think if next
If next year they go back to being the Chargers, sure, he'll still be there.
yeah. All right, and then we just added Todd Bowles. So
Yeah.
Todd Bowles, yeah, Todd Bowles, I think will be here.
Graduated.
Yeah.
Graduated.
All right,
This is a bad year.
Dun, 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 dun.
all right, this is a one tier team. There's
Safe no
one
matter
coach-
what.
Sorry,
Oh, you have a tier for just one coach.
this is
boy.
this is for literally just one coach. The tier is called "Did you beat the Chiefs?" and that's Sean McDermott. Did you beat the Chiefs? If the answer is no,
fair.
you are gone.
Well, you want him to be gone. I don't know if
I do. I think if they lose to the Chiefs, I think that will be it's
everyone will be
probably time we
calling
move
for
on.
it. Yeah.
I think
It'd be hard to
but it will also depend on who's available. Because if we get to the point, like if Brady's still available, there might be
promote him.
make Brady the coach.
Yeah.
Like we should probably move, like make Brady the coach and move on if he's even willing to do that. But I think that could happen. But if we lose, I swear to God, we lose the Broncos this week.
Oh,
But yeah,
He'll stop being down himself.
lose to the Broncos.
no, come
Fuck. All right. Firmly established. Sean McVay.
Yep.
Yes.
Matt LaFleur. I don't know if there's anything that could get these coaches fired. Right now, at least.
Right now,
Kevin O'Connell.
Kevin O'Connell, yes, easy.
Yes.
And Dan Quinn. Not Dan. Oh my God, I did
Dan
twice
Campbell.
today. Dan Campbell.
Yes.
Oh,
he's-
Dan
easily.
Campbell. There's nothing that like you had to drag a fucking wrecking ball to get him out of there.
I know.
Even that
Like-
might not work.
Like these guys, it would take 2 bad seasons in a row and bad seasons.
Yes.
Like it would take
It
genuine.
would take 4 wins
Genuinely
across
bad.
2 seasons to get
Yeah.
these guys fired.
Yes.
Yeah, like for these guys to get fired, it would be like a very clear, oh, it's over. And the last tier, future Hall of Famer who will retire as the head coach, and that is only 2 players, two head
Reed
coaches.
and
It's Reed and Tomlin.
Reed and Tomlin.
Yeah, Reed and Tomlin, and that's where I'm at right now with these guys. And again, the thing is, if there's one, here's the stupid thing. The Bills win a Super Bowl this year. McDermott joins that tier. That's this. I think.
I mean,
I don't know about that.
I don't know if
I
he's knocking on the door, maybe.
okay, he's knocking on the door. But if they win a Super Bowl, well, he's been the head coach for about
7 years, I think.
7 years now.
Mhm.
He'll have done the one thing no head coach ever has done for the Bills.
Sure.
I don't think they'll fire him.
I mean, Bill's Ring of Honor, sure, but I don't know.
If he wins the Super Bowl, he's safe for 10 years.
I think he'd be.
maybe,
I
if he
think
wants to
he'd
keep
be a
coaching.
Hall of Fame coach. I do. I think he'd be a Hall of Fame coach. You can't
Yeah.
tell. I think you can't tell the story of the NFL without putting the Bills Super Bowl in there, and that's
True.
he's the coach.
You
of
also,
it.
you also can't tell it without the Doug Peters Super Bowl. He's not getting the Hall of Fame anytime soon.
Yeah,
Well.
that's true. That's true. But
Sure,
like,
he has to keep being like contending.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
can't just win one and then just like.
oh
suck
no,
for the
no,
rest of the
that's
game.
he'd move.
I win one,
firmly
I'm done.
established. He'd move into firmly established then.
Yes,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
firmly established. Yes, I don't know. I don't know if one ring makes
Yeah.
Darren Hall of Famer. I
You
know it's
gotta
critical
keep
for
being
me
the coach.
because 2 of my head coaches have been Hall of Famers with only 1 ring, but they also have like long-standing history.
Oh,
of,
yeah.
like doing
Yeah,
really
yeah.
well.
Keep being in the conversation.
Does Harbaugh ever get into that tier?
If he wins a ring,
If
if he
wins
wins a
another
John
ring,
one,
yeah.
Harbaugh, right?
If he wins a ring this, John, I'm meaning, yeah. If he wins a ring this year with the,
Then he's probably in that tier.
does he get into that tier?
if John wins another one, then yes.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Like I like is like to the point where the Ravens just go, he's our coach until he's done. Like
Until he wants, yes.
until he's done, he's our coach, and there's nothing we're gonna do about that. Yep. No,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's fair. I think McVay's the only other one, maybe that if he wins another
If
one.
he wins another one, yeah.
Yeah, McVay's one. Yeah, one of those. He has to win another one.
Yeah. Cool. All right. See you tomorrow, everyone, guys.
All right, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that's,
goodbye.
that's it for us tonight. We'll be back tomorrow to give us the official Week 18 recap and preview the wild card round for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Until then, Colin, where we find you?
Twitter at the King Con and on Letterboxd.
Jacob.
You guys can find me pretty much everywhere at Jacob London. I'm watching movies again. So,
Hey.
yeah.
Sonic 3, 5 out of 5. Let's go.
Not 5 out of 5. Thank you very much. Jesus.
Okay, fine. Amelia Perez, 5 out of 5.
Yeah, well, I can't wait for that conversation in our chat when you finally watch.
God.
Yeah, I messed it down and watched it. Not tonight, but I will watch it very soon.
Yeah.
My Twitter's give a chance with _91. Check out the podcast, Toys by Chance. Our episode on Field of Dreams will be out very soon. Thank you for watching, and yeah, we will see you tomorrow night.
Yeah.